I don't know where they are this morning. There's a huge flock of them up there. They kind of meander around. I don't see them right now. We're past the military zone. That means we can cross back over the highway. We're going to head over towards Mauna Loa. The Mauna Kea access road intersection on our left over here. Mauna Loa access road as well. They both kind of branch off from here. One goes up each direction. You'll notice the different colors and textures to the lava flows. You know, the darker ones, generally, darker is more recent. But also, the type of lava flow will influence color a little bit. There's two major types. We can see them both right here. The smooth stuff is called pahoihoi. And the crunchy, kind of abrasive lava is ʻaʻa. So both pahoihoi and ʻaʻa lava flow, it's all made from the same material. It's all basalt lava. The difference is the temperature of the lava in its final moving moments. So just before it came to a stop, if it's extra hot, it's more fluid and smooth, that's how we get pahoihoi. If it's kind of cooling down a little bit too much but still moving, it's real clumpy and chunky. Of course, we end up with the ʻaʻa lava flow. ʻaʻa tends to have a darker appearance than the same age pahoihoi lava. Great example here of where the lava flows came from. We were talking about it already, but so many of them came from left of the summit on that ridge up there, the Mauna Loa's northeast rift. Also the little white dome kind of halfway up the slope here, heading to the right, that's a Mars dome. People have been living inside of that thing, practicing what it might be like living on Mars. And there's more buildings way up near the summit, kind of below the snow. That's Mauna Loa Solar Observatory. We use that location to look at the sun. So Jaden, what are you studying at the university?
Animal health and management.
Oh, fantastic. How do you like Hilo? How long have you been there now?
I've been there a year and a half now, but I like it a lot, yeah.
You got to get okay used to the rain, I guess, but it's a beautiful place to be. Captain Cook gets more rain too. Well, maybe not compared to Hilo, but I suppose it depends how far up the hill you are too. We don't get very much in Waikoloa where I'm at. It's really rare from here we can see Hilo. To the left you can see Hilo Bay right now. Shoreline. I mean, most of the time from here it's just a wall of clouds. Hilo's under the clouds and probably getting rained on. Not today. The fog definitely going on though. All that haze in the air. Pollution from the volcano, right? And it's pretty uncommon for the fog to go towards Hilo because usually the trade winds blow the fog the other way, down towards South Point, and wrap around towards you guys. It's a big island. The really nice lava tubes coming up. You'll see holes in the ground all over the place up here. A lot of them lined up in a row over one tube. When eruption happens, lava comes out, starts running down the slope, and in the beginning, it's exactly what you think, just lava flow on the surface, but it starts cooling down pretty rapidly, of course, and it cools from the outside in, creating its own crust. That's the beginning of a lava tube. The neat thing about the tube, once it starts forming, is it insulates the lava. It's like a blanket. So now the lava can go further, and then the process repeats. So with time, the lava tubes can get longer and longer. Sometimes they'll go all the way to the ocean. Another thing about the lava tubes, though, they can collapse, they can clog. You can have lava going into the ocean one day, and not too surprising that maybe the next day it's not because the tube got clogged somewhere. Things change all the time throughout the eruptions. So we're going to be crossing over Mauna Loa's rift here in just a moment. And when we do, right on the rift, 1984 lava. So that last eruption out of Mauna Loa, 1984, it happened right up here on the rift to our right. The lava flows came across in front of us. They were going down slope to the left towards Hilo. Luckily, eruption only lasted 3 weeks and it stopped short of town, but it went 20 miles and it was like within like something like 3 miles of town before it quit moving. Also, as we cross the rift, we'll have our first good views over towards Kilauea Volcano. It's right in front of us, just over the hill. '84, right underneath us now. The boundary for Volcanoes National Park, there's a fence right here. Although I have no idea why they've got a fence. I tried to figure it out once. I was talking to the park ranger, said, what's the deal with that fence in the middle of nowhere surrounding the park? He said, oh yeah, well don't you know we got all these feral hogs on the island. We're trying to keep the hogs out of the national park. And I said, okay, I guess, but aren't there already tons of hogs inside the national park? And he says, yeah. And then the conversation ended. And then about 2 years later, I was flying along just like that. I had a guy on board, a local guy, and he's got super excited. He's telling his wife, hey honey, that's the fence I built. I was like, oh man, it's my lucky day, I'm going to figure this one out. I was like, what's the fence for? He says, oh man, I don't know, they just paid us to build it. I don't know. Maybe they had a budget and they needed to spend it. Kilauea Volcano is straight in front of us. You can see the smoke rising up out of the ground a little bit. That's it. That's the summit. It's the shortest volcano on the island, only about 4,100 feet down here at the summit. It's the youngest. It's still growing. It kind of blends into the side of Mauna Loa, especially from this viewpoint. You know, you can't really hardly even tell it's a different volcano except for the smoke coming out of the ground. So for a long time, no surprise, people didn't realize it was a different volcano. People thought Mauna Loa here just erupted on the side down here kind of a lot. Eventually, they determined, well, wait a minute, there's a separate magma chamber and an independent plumbing system to the magma chamber. Well, that means it's a different volcano. It's just younger. It hasn't grown as tall yet. See a long ways from up here, almost all the way to South Point. Kind of the Vog getting in the way just a little bit, but South Point, southernmost point of the entire United States, way down there on the right. It's where the Punaluu black sand beach and the green sand beach is down there too. Jaden, have you been out to the green sand beach?
Yeah, I have one.
It's an adventure. One of those things where you probably won't go a lot because it's kind of a challenge to get to, but it's neat to see it once. Kilauea. So a little bit of history here. Now, actually the last 3 eruptions of Kilauea Volcano. So rewind, so minus the current eruption, 2 eruptions ago. 1983 is when it began. And it began down on the side. It didn't start up here at the summit. Way out in the distance on the side, Kilauea started erupting January 3rd, 1983. For the first 25 years of that eruption, it took place exclusively down on the side. It went for a long time though. For 25 years down on the side, but in 2008, it was March 19th, 2008, a hole burst open here at the summit. Smoke started billowing out the top. That's when the Vog got serious too. Tons of smoke, tons and tons of smoke. And then we had essentially 2 eruption sites at the same time on the same volcano. Lava coming out down on the side, smoke coming out at the summit. And lava eventually started coming up into the hole at the summit too. And then fast forward to the end of that eruption, 2018, a 3rd eruption site opened up even further downrift, way out at the east tip of the island. When that one opened up, it basically started letting out all the pressure that way. A lot of lava coming out at the end of the island. When that happened, the original eruption site quit. the summit started draining and deflating. The caldera got deeper and deeper, started sinking in like crazy, and this caldera ended up being 4 times deeper than we ever seen it before. But then that eruption quit. But while the summit was sinking in, the sidewalls were collapsing. Part of a road fell in up here. You know, the Volcanoes National Park, the summit here, it changed kind of forever. But then we had a break, and water started filling up the caldera. We got a lake. That was the first time we'd ever seen a lake in the summit of Kilauea. It ended up being about 300 feet deep, and it was like 170 degrees, real hot water. But then, 2 eruptions ago, or not this eruption, eruption previous, right? It was December 20th, 2020, just last year, well, a year and a little bit ago. And it started inside the caldera, the sidewall burst open, lava started pouring down into the lake. But basically the lake boiled out overnight. And then it started filling up with lava instead. So that one went all the way until June, lava getting higher and higher inside the floor of the caldera, about 700 foot deep lava lake. Then it quit and took a break. Then basically the same kind of eruption began again, and the lava started returning and filling the summit, and that's where we're at today. Now currently the lava lake is over 1,000 feet thick and slowly filling. It kind of goes in cycles. Sometimes we have a lot of activity, sometimes we don't have much at all. But we're going to be looking down in the bottom here at the lava lake. Hopefully the lava lake isn't completely crusted over. Sometimes it is. But hopefully we get some orange splotches on the lava lake. We can see some activity down in there. By the way, this community on our left is Volcano Village. There's a bunch of people living here. Right on top of the most active volcano in the world. They even have a golf course. We'll kind of make turns back and forth up here. We'll have to take turns seeing the best views one side and the other. Usually the best angle is kind of right overhead of it. So a little bit left and look down on the right. So down in the caldera on the furthest right side, there's an extra sunken in spot kind of depressed down. That's where the molten portion of the lava lake has been. If we're going to see lava, it's probably going to be somewhere in the vicinity right in that area. We just crossed over a building, Jagger Museum. It's pretty much straight below us right now. That building was closed down in 2018 because of the sinking and settling here at the summit. The building foundation was damaged, and they haven't figured out how they're going to reopen it. Also, the Crater Rim Drive, if you look, this road goes around the caldera. There's a huge chunk missing. Can't even go in it anymore. And I promise we'll switch around to the left here in just a minute. George, you seen any lava down in there? I can't see it from this angle very well, but it's possible. I know yesterday it was a little bit quiet and we weren't getting a whole bunch of activity, and maybe it hasn't quite picked back up again yet. We'll see.
It looks like there's a little bit directly out my window.
A little bit down there? Yeah. I'm going to swing back to the left here. We'll give a shot on the left side now.